Moving to a new city often means leaving behind family, comfort, and safety in hopes of building a better life. But what if the place you call home is not a shelter but a prison? And what if the walls you trust to protect you are hiding something ancient, hungry, and waiting? This is the story of a young immigrant woman searching for stability only to discover that sometimes the cost of survival is unthinkable. Ambar, a young woman from Mexico, arrives in Cleveland with nothing but a small suitcase and the faint hope of starting a better life. She dreams of stability, of finally finding a place where she belongs. Her mother has recently passed away, and the grief clings to her like a shadow. She rents a room in a dilapidated old boarding house run by a strange man named Red. The rent is cheap, suspiciously cheap, but for someone like Ambar, who works long hours at a factory for low wages, it seems like a blessing. Her first night inside is unsettling. The house feels cold, damp, and unnaturally silent, except for faint noises coming from the walls. Shadows stretch too long in the hallways, and doors seem to groan when touched. Lying in her small, poorly lit room, Ambar begins to hear muffled sobbing. It echoes faintly through the vents. She gets up, confused, pressing her ear against the wall. The sound is of a woman, someone crying desperately as though trapped. She knocks gently on the wall, whispering a hello, but the sobbing cuts off instantly, leaving only silence. Over the next few days, strange things escalate. Ambar begins having nightmares of her mother, frail and sick in a hospital bed calling for her, but in these dreams, her mother's face twists, the skin darkening, and her voice turns into something monstrous. She also notices that the house is nearly empty. Apart from Red, the landlord, and occasionally his mysterious brother Becker, there seem to be no other tenants. Yet she keeps hearing voices at night, whispers carried through the pipes and vents. One night, she sees a figure, just for a moment, at the end of the hall, a pale, indistinct shape, with long dark hair, standing perfectly still. When she blinks, it's gone.
Ambar tries to confide in Red about the noises and shadows, but he brushes her off coldly. "Old houses make noises," he says, avoiding her eyes. There's something in his tone, something rehearsed, that makes her uneasy. Meanwhile, her job at the factory is exhausting, and her undocumented status weighs heavily. She knows she has little choice but to stay in the cheap room. Leaving would mean losing everything. But the house, it doesn't let her forget. One night, as she's drifting to sleep, Ambar feels the mattress sink, as if someone has sat down at the edge of her bed. Slowly, her breath catches. She dares not move. The air grows colder, and then she feels it. A hand, icy and bony, brushing across her arm. She gasps and turns, but no one is there. Her exploration of the house leads her to a locked basement. Through the cracked door, she sees Becker carrying a large, ancient-looking stone box. Its surface is etched with strange markings, like something out of another world. The sight fills her with dread. Why is this here? Why does Becker treat it with such care, almost reverence? When he notices her looking, Becker slams the door shut. "Stay out," he warns, his voice flat and sharp. From that moment, Ambar knows something is very wrong. Ambar's nights become unbearable. She dreams of her mother constantly, but the dreams twist reality into nightmares. In one, she is back in the hospital, watching her mother on the bed. The woman coughs and calls her name, but when Ambar steps closer, her mother's face splits open, revealing jagged teeth, and a deep guttural voice growls, "You'll never leave." She wakes drenched in sweat, gasping for air. Her chest aches, as though the nightmare has left a physical mark on her body. The crying returns, clearer now, louder. Ambar follows the sound through the halls, pressing her ear to door frames and walls. Finally, she finds herself standing before a room at the end of the hall. The sobbing is unmistakable inside. She hesitates, then slowly opens the door. The room is empty. Only a cracked window, a broken bed frame, and dust. The crying fades instantly, replaced by silence. And then, her reflection in the cracked window smiles at her, though she isn't smiling. She stumbles back, her pulse racing. When she confronts Red about the strange noises, he sighs heavily, almost as though rehearsed. He tells her about his parents, how his father used to bring guests into the house, and how the place has always had problems. But the way he speaks is cold, detached, as though he is hiding something darker. Later that night, Ambar overhears Red and Becker arguing in hushed tones. She catches words like sacrifice and it needs to be fed. Her blood runs cold. Unable to resist, Ambar sneaks back into the basement when the brothers are gone. The box is there, massive, heavy, its carvings intricate and alien. She places a trembling hand on it. The stone is unnaturally cold, almost wet. Suddenly the lights flicker and die. The air grows heavy. And then, she hears it. A voice from inside the box, whispering in Spanish. Her mother's voice. Ambar, help me. Her legs nearly buckle. She backs away, but her eyes stay locked on the box. From the darkness, something inside scratches against the stone. Ambar tries to flee the house the next day. She grabs her suitcase and runs down the front steps. But Becker is waiting outside, his cold eyes fixed on her. He grabs her arm tightly, forcing her back inside. You don't understand, he growls. You're chosen. She struggles, but his grip is iron. Red joins in, and together they drag her to the basement. She screams for help, her voice echoing through the empty halls, but no one comes. In the basement, the brothers prepare the box. They chant in a language Ambar doesn't understand, lighting candles around the room. The stone lid begins to shift, as though something inside is pushing against it. Red explains, his tone almost calm, that the box holds an ancient being, a hungry spirit that requires sacrifices. If it is not fed, it will consume them instead. Ambar's mind races. She realizes she is not the first. The voices, the crying, the shadows. They are the echoes of the women who came before her. Now, it's her turn. The lid shifts open. At first, only darkness inside. Then, two massive hands, skeletal with skin stretched tight like leather, emerge, gripping the edge. Slowly, a monstrous figure climbs out. Its head is inhuman, its mouth filled with rows of jagged teeth, its form shifting between shadow and flesh. Ambar screams as it leans toward her. But instead of consuming her instantly, it stops. Its hollow eyes seem to study her. It whispers, "Choose." The brothers force her closer. "It won't take us," Becker snarls. "It wants you." But then Ambar realizes something. The creature is offering her a choice. Sacrifice someone else, and she can live. Her breath shakes as she stares at Red and Becker, the men who imprisoned her, who murdered others before her. Slowly, she turns toward them. Ambar's chest heaves as she stares at the monstrous being. Its skeletal hands grip the stone box like a throne, its mouth dripping black fluid. The brothers keep chanting, desperate for it to take her instead of them. But the creature tilts its head, staring straight into Ambar's eyes. In her mind, she hears the voice again. Choose or be chosen. Her body trembles, but her mind sharpens. For once, she sees clearly. The true evil in this room is not just the creature, but the men who fed it for years. With a sudden cry, Ambar lunges forward, but not at the monster. She shoves Becker toward the box. His scream echoes through the basement as the creature's hands snap around his body. It lifts him into the air, his legs kicking wildly. The monster's mouth opens impossibly wide, rows of jagged teeth glistening. Becker's cry cuts short as he is swallowed whole. The candles flicker violently, the shadows bending as though the house itself sighs in relief. Red stares at Ambar in shock. His chanting falters, his body trembling. You don't understand, he pleads. It won't stop with him. It always needs more. But the creature is already reaching for him. Red tries to run, but the basement door slams shut on its own. The beast drags him back, his nails clawing at the wood until they rip away. He screams her name begging, but Ambar doesn't move. In one swift motion, the monster pulls him apart like paper. Silence. When it's done, the creature turns its head slowly toward Ambar. She braces herself, certain she will be next. But instead, it leans closer until its hollow eyes are inches from hers. Her mother's voice echoes inside her mind again. Live. Then, just as suddenly, the monster withdraws back into the box. Its massive form folds unnaturally, vanishing into the darkness. The stone lid slams shut with a deafening thud. The candles extinguish. Ambar collapses to her knees, gasping for air. When morning comes, Ambar stumbles out of the house. Her body is bruised, her eyes red from crying, but she is alive. The neighbors don't ask questions. To them, the house is just another decaying building on a forgotten street. But inside, the stone box still waits, and Ambar knows she has escaped only because she allowed others to be taken in her place. That guilt will never leave her. That night, in a cheap motel room, Ambar tries to sleep. But as soon as her eyes close, she is back in the basement. The box sits before her. It cracks open slowly, and her mother's voice whispers again, softer now. "Feed me." She wakes with a scream. The cycle isn't over. The story of No One Gets Out Alive is one of desperation, survival, and the cost of choices made in the face of pure evil. Ambar escaped with her life, but the darkness she encountered will never release her completely. Some houses keep their secrets. Some boxes should never be opened. And sometimes, surviving is the beginning of the true horror. If you found this story chilling, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more horrifying tales retold in full detail. And remember, some places are not meant to be entered, because no one gets out alive.